The first question is, what does success in life mean for you?
Being happy and fulfilled.
I love that. And figuring what that is for you and for each of you listening is the trick, right? Is like what does that mean? Like how could I be happy and fulfilled? When did you know you were really good at what you do?
I think it's funny because everybody who's I'm 41 now, and there's a certain point where you stop feeling the age that you are, right? Where you feel like, okay, I felt like at some point I was going to feel like a grown up, but I still feel like I don't know what I'm doing. But as a professor, I do have this opportunity where, because I advise students or I advise younger junior faculty, then I'm able to see, oh, wait, I do have some expertise here, because even when I might feel a little bit lost on my own projects, when I'm talking to a student, I'm like, oh, I know exactly what they should do. So I
Yeah.
have that opportunity by seeing the younger generation to then kind of see how far I've come and recognize that I am in a very different place in my life, even though sometimes I still feel like, wait a minute, I'm the adult. I'm in charge here.
Yeah. I love that. Um, can you describe a personal habit that contributes to your well-being so you can do everything you do in the world?
Sleeping 8 hours a night. It's a
Mm.
non-negotiable for me.
Oh, I love that. Okay, give us just a couple tips on how do you make it non-negotiable?
So I find that when we all have things that are non-negotiable, but often they're things for other people. So usually it's like, okay, I'm never gonna let my kid down, or I'm never gonna let my boss down, but we like let ourselves down in the process.
Right.
So I have long since like flipped that script, which is that unless it is a true emergency, and once in a while there is a true emergency, right? I literally mean you have to take your kid to the emergency room, or like you have a work thing where like, you're going to lose $1 million contract if you don't fix this thing or whatever, right? But unless it's a true emergency, it is like making the choice to say, like, I'd rather let somebody else down than let myself down. So just literally like flipping the way you approach it to say, like, the same way you're like, oh no, I have to get this done because this is due. Like, literally, when you know you have to wake up in 8 hours, when you reach that point of the night, it's no, I have to go to bed because I have to wake up in 8 hours. So whatever, wherever this is at, that's done, right?
We're done.
And I started doing that a long time ago because in college I got sick all the time, and I had this narrative that was like, I have a bad immune system or whatever, right? And then I find out that it's like, no, it's just that I wasn't sleeping enough. It's that you feel like you can pull an all-nighter and then you can drink caffeine, but like that's not actually true. Like your body is gonna, take the toll. So when I started working in consulting, and the expectation, I would get emails from my boss at 11 p.m. and then come in the next morning at 7 a.m. and they would say, oh, did you do that yet? And I was like, the time in between. And so I just started saying, when I started on a new project, hi, I'm Corinne. I sleep 8 hours a night and I eat 3 meals a day. Everything else is negotiable. But
Oh, I love that. Oh my gosh. Okay, that is so good. Um, all right, couple more questions. What superpower did you discover you had only to realize it was there all the time?
I think, I mean, I love being a mom. And so I think one of the things that I discovered is that I made a lot of changes in my life. You can read about them all in the book. It's very gossipy. Where I got divorced, I moved to Philadelphia, and I felt really guilty for prioritizing my own happiness. And what I realized is that by putting my own oxygen mask on first, I was such a better mom. And I really saw my relationship with my son blossom. And so that felt like one of those superpower moments where I was like, I'm an amazing mom. And it was within myself all the time, but I needed to put myself in the situation where I could be that person, because when your own needs aren't getting met, you can't be relaxed and happy and fun. And so understanding that, like, actually investing in you being okay is an investment in your kids, because they want you. They want you to be able to laugh and have fun and relax with them more than they want anything else.
Oh my, it's so true. It's just so true. And with the high pressure lives that we all live, it's so easy to just go into like everything's tense like all the time.
Stigmos.
Yes, that make it happen mode, right? And so that reminder of just relax and have fun.
And you will discover your superpower that you were an amazing parent.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, last couple questions. What advice would you give your younger self, say 25-year-old Corinne?
Well, I probably would have thought about a marriage as a financial decision and a career decision, and not just have thought about it as like find somebody who's cute and you have fun with. But, I would not take anything back in my own life because, everything leads you to where you are.
Yeah.
And, me having my son who's amazing and is a great joy. But I do advise younger people, they say, think about a relationship over the course of your life. Think about it as you're hiring a co-CEO of the household for life, because what you need from a partner is going to be different when you're 35 than it is when you're 20. And I think sometimes, we think of the immediate, right? And who makes us laugh? who,
Yeah.
who we share taste in movies or music with, and we don't think about, who is going to actually bring something to the table as a partner in this enterprise of life.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. Um, okay. Do you identify as a feminist?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I do identify as a feminist, and I don't think that that means for me, and this is the controversial thing I'll say, to me, that doesn't mean that men and women are identical or that their lives would even look identical if we had the policy support that we needed. Because what I see is that when people have more resources, women tend to choose to put more of those resources into children on the
Yeah.
margins, which means, when you're making a decision and
Yeah.
people have more resources. And so that resource could be money, that resource could be time. That we usually see that, women who have more money actually spend more time with their kids instead of less, even though often their time is more expensive in the labor market, and yet they're putting more time in with their kids. So,
Mm.
in a world where we had the actual support that families need, that would be democratized, and that women who were lower earning would also be able to invest that time in their children, right?
Mhm.
But I absolutely am a feminist because I think that what women bring to society is so essential. I think their skills and talents are so essential. And I think that their work is not a hobby. So even though I'm saying that I think if everybody was supported the way they wanted to be, I think women would put time into children. I also think women's income is essential for American families, for them to pay their bills. And I think in the discourse, we've started treating it as something that women do like for feminism, because they're so feminist, they want to go to work instead of understanding that American families depend on their income. So I
Mm.
have a very, I think, complex take on it all, which you can read about in the book, but I absolutely am a feminist.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. And as an economist, that gives you the opportunity to bring those feminist values into a mainstream, like very mainstream dominant culture field, which is
Mhm.
exciting. So we'll all have to go read the book to find out more. Dr. Lowe, last question. What are you reading right now? What's on your nightstand?
Well, since becoming an author, then you make a lot of author friends, and then I just order everybody's book because I
Yeah.
want to support them, which means that I have like a stack on my nightstand that is like this high of books
Yeah.
that I need to read. So it's just like too many to count, but are all like so exciting, and I've had so much care put into that. And that's what's amazing about books is that like, it costs a lot of money to like bring somebody in as a speaker, for example, right? But like a nonfiction book is all of somebody's expertise, like everything they've spent their career on, and they put it in a book just for you. And so it's kind of amazing the knowledge that we can access through that. And so I definitely have become a quick clicker, since becoming an author myself. And so the nightstand pile is high.
Yes, I will agree with that. I mean, I get a lot of books just because a lot of pitches, people are
Mhm.
sending me their book to interview them. But we do add these books to a book list for listeners. So if there's anything you particularly would like to note for listeners to read, you can share that now, or you can share it later, and we'll add it.
Okay. I'll shout out two that are on my nightstand right now. One is a book called Uncompete by Ruchika Malhotra. And, it's a book about, unlocking success without needing to feel like you're in competition with other women, especially. And
Mhm.
I just think it's a beautiful, generous way to look at the world. And the other is by one of my Wharton colleagues. It's called Lucky by Design. And it's a book about kind of everyday economics. So kind of almost like a new Freakonomics. So how to use economics tools in your everyday life.
Oh, I love it. Okay, great. All right. I've been speaking with Dr. Corinne Low today, economist and author of Having It All